Christian CYInterview covering Las Vegas and the world. If you haven't already, please hit the like button below and please hit the subscribe button below to keep up with everything we have going on here at CYInterview in Las Vegas and beyond. We greatly appreciate it. Yesterday, we were at the Manny Pacquiao Return to Fighting press conference. He's going to be taking on Mario Barrios at the MGM Grand here on July 19th in Las Vegas, entertainment capital of the world. Isn't it interesting, 14 years ago, a little bit more than 14 years ago, we had on CYInterview the great boxing historian, the late Bert Sugar. We were talking with him about the Manny Pacquiao and Shane Mosley fight that was taking place in 2011. And of course, we talked about the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight that hadn't happened yet. Well, of course, as you know, yesterday, we were with Manny Pacquiao, and we asked him, now that he's returned to fighting, would he fight Floyd Mayweather again? And just in case you missed that, here was that response.
Christian, CYInterview here in Las Vegas. I'd just love to ask you two things. What do you love most about the entertainment capital of the world? And if you are to win this fight, would you fight Floyd Mayweather again?
He's retired already, so if he'll come back, then it's possible. But you know, I'm here. I'm back. So I'm excited for the boxing fans.
So now we're going to take you back to 2011. Great Jay Bilstein is on this call with me, of course, my colleague. We talked with Bert Sugar about all the things going on in boxing at the time in 2011. And of course, we do get into the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight and why it hadn't happened yet. So here we look back today at our CYInterview with the late, great Bert Sugar.
This is Christian Deck, and you're on CYInterview.com. We welcome back boxing historian Bert Sugar after numerous years to talk about tonight's big boxing fight between Sugar Shane Mosley and Manny Pacquiao. Sugar also goes into many things in the world of boxing today, including when we might see Floyd Mayweather Jr. take on Manny Pacquiao, as well as the state of boxing, the future of boxing, and a few other topics. Here is our conversation. Jay Bilstein joins me for this call. Mr. Sugar, thanks so much for joining us this morning to talk about the Pacquiao-Mosley fight. I want to get into it right away. Where does this fight rank as far as fights in recent years, you think?
Well, you're asking a question I can't fill in until after the fight itself.
Yeah.
The build-up, though, if the fighter quits the build-up, is very big. It's focused attention on the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world today, Manny Pacquiao, and an opponent, albeit he's now 39, Sugar Shane Mosley, who once was acceded the honor of being called the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world when he was at his peak and prime. Unfortunately, he is not. So in many ways, people are looking at this as a page holder for a potential, if it ever comes to pass, Pacquiao-Floyd Mayweather Jr. fight, which may or may not happen depending on Floyd.
Jay?
Bert, if we look back to the somewhat recent past and we look at Pacquiao de la Hoya and we examine Mosley Mayweather, what might those two past fights inform us about how tonight's fight might go?
Well, it's very difficult to judge a fight by past fights because styles make fights, a very old and trite cliche, which I will invoke here. Mosley still has a powerful right hand, an excellent left jab, and Pacquiao has the energy of an Energizer bunny. He is a non-stop fighter who just keeps coming. Put them together for about 3 or 4 rounds, it's going to be one hell of a fight. Then, if, as I see it, and look, I had Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn, but I had 7.5 points. So I've not always been right, but I foresee about 4th or 5th round, mostly sort of function of age, function of Pacquiao's constant and continual onslaught, sort of going down like a hose that goes flaccid after you turn off the water. And I think that then it'll be Pacquiao, 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 and more Pacquiao.
When you look at this whole entire thing in the build-up to this, besides obviously what we've been talking about, is there anything else that stands out?
No, I mean, the questions about Pacquiao that people raise, is he being distracted by too many out-of-the-ring activities? He's a congressperson from the Philippines. He envisions himself as a singer, karaoke singer, but singer, albeit I did play the tape of one of his recent concerts, and the cat hasn't come out from under the sofa yet. So that I don't know if that's an alternative, but he seems to be able to focus once he gets into the ring. And the focus tonight will be Sugar Shane Mosley. Pacquiao is in and of himself, a one-man, if you will, lightning conductor. People come to see him, and if he was fighting you, me, or the peanut vendor in the second aisle, they would come to see Manny Pacquiao. It's a sellout, 16,000 at the MGM Grand. But I'm afraid the odds, which just went up to 9-1, Pacquiao, coming out of 6, 7, 8-1, reflect what people think of this fight. And albeit I'm with HBO, and this is a Showtime fight, I'm here as a guest with Tommy Hearns and Roberto Duran of Tecate Beer, so that I'm here just as an observer to see Manny Pacquiao. You always want to see a potential legend in the making. And, it's like watching anybody who is a legend at a given moment, whether it's Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, whomsoever. Manny Pacquiao is that legend in the making.
Jay?
Bert, does Shane Mosley stand a puncher's chance tonight?
Oh, assuredly, and particularly in the first 3 to 4 rounds. Oh, assuredly. Remember, he's the one who made Floyd Mayweather look as if he was sitting down in midair, as if somebody had taken the chair out from under him. Floyd didn't go down, but he certainly looked like he was about to. So he can land a punch, particularly a good, solid right hand. But this is not the Sugar Shane Mosley of yesteryear, when he was the fastest man on the planet. He now has slowed a little. He was out-jabbed by Miguel Cotto. His last fight against Sergio Mora was a stinker. It wound up in a draw. I don't know how it wound up. I was asleep at the end. In fact, the writer in the press row in front of me told me to quit snoring. I was keeping him awake. So you just don't know. Put them all aside, because people have a habit for big fights of coming forward. Mosley has a chance, yes.
You know what, Bert? When you use the term Energizer Bunny in terms of Pacquiao, it made me think back to fighters of yesteryear. Any parallels that you could draw between probably the most energetic fighter I could think of, Aaron Pryor and Manny Pacquiao?
Well, Pryor and Pernell Whitaker would be two of them, both of whom looked like they'd taken a 4-way cold tablet and had to run 3 more ways to catch up with it. And Pacquiao possesses all of that, plus power in both hands. When I first saw him, he only had power in his left hand, or only used his left hand, until his trainer, Freddie Roach, told him that the union limit on hands was 2. You can use both of them. But he is a package, the complete package. Winner of 8 championships in 8 different divisions. You almost have to go back to Henry Armstrong, who in the late 30s was leapfrogging divisions from featherweight to welterweight to lightweight to middleweight, and winning all of them, to find a comparison to what Pacquiao has been able to do.
Is this the reason why we have not seen a Mayweather fight yet?
Well, there are several reasons, all of which are spelled Floyd. Floyd is not afraid of Pacquiao, let it be known. He's afraid of losing. If you ask Floyd what he thinks his legacy is, within 1 second he'll tell you he's the greatest fighter ever, because he's never lost, 42-0. Ali lost. Sugar Ray Robinson lost. Sugar Ray Leonard lost. Joe Louis lost. I've never lost. So he doesn't want to lose, which is not a great ambition anyway. And so looking for if you will, advantages, edges, call it what you may. He doesn't want to fight Pacquiao without that edge, which is why he asked for a blood test. I'm surprised he didn't ask for a pap test, just to get under his skin and to try to gain that edge. And until he gains an edge, he ain't going to fight Pacquiao. A lot depends, Chris, on how the fight tonight goes. Because if there's a flaw in Pacquiao, he'll come out of hiding. Floyd Mayweather will, to fight him. And if he looks better in his fight against Mosley than Floyd looked against Mosley, then he won't come out.
So, do you think in his mind he thinks being undefeated is what will lead him to go down to be, quote-unquote, the greatest fighter of all time? I mean, after all, we look back to Rocky Marciano. He was undefeated, and I don't think most boxing historians judge him as the greatest of all time. Is that in his mind only? Is that a talking line, or does he really believe this based on being undefeated?
I think it's his mind's eye. He listens to his father, who, if you have ever heard his father make Dick Clark on New Year's Eve sound intelligible and coherent. But it's Floyd. Floyd has got this mindset. And while I've got that fight if it ever happens even. He can win, but it's not can win. In his mind's eye, he must win. And that's what's holding that up. Probably the most anticipated fight to come, which may never come, since Leonard and Hearns 3 decades ago.
I know that Jay and me wanted to talk with you finally. Thanks so much for the conversation today about the future of boxing, and I guess the question is, what is it at this point in time, you think?
Well, the future of boxing around the world is excellent. In the United States, a little less so. You have to understand that the United States has a sports public, if you will, that as opposed to when boxing was one of the 3 major sports for the first 50 years of the last century, along with baseball and horse racing, there are now 46 different sports on the American landscape or platter, including, get this, Texas Hold'em, if you look at the number of hours ESPN spends with it. So it's lost its place, it's lost its following, and Americans have always liked big things. They like big cars, big bank accounts, big-chested women, and big boxers. We've been a heavyweight-oriented, if you will, sports constituency or sports group. And the lighter weights have not interested us as much as they have around the world. Look at Manny Pacquiao in Asia. He's a national, international hero and legend. Mexico, South America, they don't grow them that big. You get a Morales, a Barrera, etc. So boxing around the world is very, very well off, thank you. In Mexico, they only have 3 sports. Here we've got 46. So boxing, yes, it's charitably number 11 in the top 10. But around the world, it's very, very popular.
Okay.
Bert, this year, Bob Arum and Don King both turn 80. Both 2 mega promoters in boxing over the years. Who are the shining lights coming up as promoters who might re-energize a focus on boxing?
Well, both of them are doing very well, thank you. But as you say, 80 is not exactly spring chickenville. So you've got Golden Boy, that's Oscar De La Hoya's group, Lou DiBella on the East Coast or the right coast. There are promoters out there. I don't know if they'll pick up the baton, but they're poised and ready, maybe, to come forward. All things considered, boxing has cycles. You have to remember back in the 80s, early 80s, granted that was 2 blinks and 3 decades ago, when Larry Holmes was defending his title against fighters that weren't even household names in their own households. Osvaldo Ocasio, Leroy Jones. We looked to the middle area weight classes. Who did we find? Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Wilfred Benitez. They all fought each other. It was a glorious year, an era for boxing. Hopefully that'll come back.
Final question, Jay?
No, listen, I was in Las Vegas last week. I wish I was there this week with you now. Enjoy the fight. It should certainly be a good one.
I will, and before I let me go,
Yeah.
let me just tell you, call it a plug if you will,
Sure, go ahead.
of my new book called The Ultimate Book of Boxing Lists that I did with ESPN's Teddy Atlas, which has 120 lists in there, the greatest this, the greatest that. And it just came out, and it's doing very well, thank you. Even with lists like that contributed by Muhammad Ali, who picked the greatest heavyweights of all time, and interestingly enough did not put his own name in there. Sugar Ray Leonard contributed, Tommy Hearns, Ernie Shavers. It's a fun book, and it's an argument, a bar argument starter, not settler.
Well, saying that, Bert, do you have I would suspect you have a list of the greatest punchers or sluggers of all time, and if you do, top of the list, you rate Shavers ahead of Foreman, Foreman ahead of Shavers?
Shavers and Max Baer at the top. And Tommy Hearns is in there. It's called The Ultimate Book of Boxing Lists. We even have the worst chins. We've got the best chins. George Chuvalo, whose best punch was a left jaw to the right glove. We've got every list in there that's imaginable and some that aren't. So it's a fun book, The Ultimate Book of Boxing Lists, and that's my newest.
For CYInterview.com, I'm Chris Yandek.